Welcome to episode 69 of the May Contain Action podcast. Today's show is brought to you by HighPass.gg, the best EMCA free music streaming service out there. Go to HighPass.gg now, pick your vibe, your favorite place to listen, and enjoy it. We got, I believe, Paul, if you correct me if I'm incorrect here, but there is two new edits of a song that feature you, correct?
There sure are. They happen to be called Undefeated. A little sample used of a clip of mine during stream, and it is fire. Both are fire. There's a future bass one, and there's a dubstep one.
Really
dubstep?
Good.
Yeah,
dubstep. There's a dubstep one. Yeah, and they're really good. Tyke Myson made them. Shout out Tyke Myson. He's undefeated.
Unbelievable.
And two brand new songs on there. A bunch of really cool, I don't know what to call them others than meme tracks. And then also many other tunes, including two of my own there on HighPass.gg. So go check it out if you stream, if you watch. I mean, hell, at this point, if you're just listening offline, just listen. It's great.
Yeah,
it's everywhere. Good. It's getting suggested in like these big playlists now too. On my Spotify, which is awesome. I'm like, wow, my song was in this suggested playlist. I don't know. I know it's algorithmic. Algorithmic.
Yeah.
Algorithmic. But like, I still was like super excited about it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not even introducing you. You're already here. Look at you.
Hey, what's up?
Look at that face.
Look at me.
Paul's here, and Trevor's here too. And we're doing a more. I know that you got anyone listening. You're listening after the fact. We're trying We're trying to get more episodes cranked out so the baseball doesn't get in the way. Here we are in the morning. I hope you enjoy this one. We got an AMAS episode, and I don't think there's anything that we could be doing better for episode 69 than just hang out together. You know what I mean? That's
just the two
weird.
bros. Yeah, just two
bros
of us
on episode 69.
Yeah, just you and me at 69, episode 69. Yeah, just two guys. Two guys and microphones.
Yes. Two separate microphones. We're in different places. I feel like that's pertinent.
It's important information.
Yeah. Do you guys want to be on the pod? Call and leave a message or text. We prefer you leave a message, but you can text too if you're shy to 503-908-9526. Leave your question, and you just might make the episode. I believe some of them. I don't actually know if any of the ones from this one are in that, but there are lots of questions out there. We do appreciate you. That number again is 503-908-9526. I already alluded to it. It's just us today, and we'll be answering some of your questions. But first, we got some current events because we did current events last time. It was a lot of fun.
That's right. Love it. Get right into it, Trev. Speaking
of current events, a lot of people are bringing up cheating in video games lately. I understand everyone's playing Warzone. It's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
And
even I'm playing Warzone.
Yeah, even you're playing Warzone. So there just must be nothing to play. And cheating is a huge issue. Evidently, something super cool to do now is to watch other people play, which is hilarious. It's like Twitchception.
The things that are popular almost upset me. Like I'm not saying I'm mad that it's happening. Like I'm happy that like Tim has all these like spectate videos and they're doing well. Like I'm happy for him. But why is that a thing? I don't understand why it's a thing. He had like I think he had almost 1 million views on one of his videos. I don't know that he's ever gotten that much.
I'm gonna be honest. I've seen him live, and I got it's really freaking entertaining because you see some crazy stuff, man. You see, like he was just clowning on this guy. He's like, oh, this guy's gonna have, and he was calling out the meta. He's like, this guy's gonna have this for his loadout. The guy like got like a Mac 10 and a freaking RPG. And he's like, what? The hell? And the guy's like on this guy drives under him in a Bertha, and he's like shooting with the RPG, and the guy snipes him with an RPG from like 200 meters, like leads him perfectly, drives right into it.
What?
Like, I take it back. You're amazing. And I was like, we would have never seen this. He actually just went silent. He was giving him shit and then just went silent. And that was like, I was like, this is gonna be a great YouTube video. And all he's doing is watching and commentating. And then right after that, Courage is like, has a lot of professional commentating experience. Was like, I'm gonna do it, and I can actually do this well.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
People love reacting.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that just shows more than anything that people love reactions. So
they do love reactions. They want you to react to the thing that they like.
Exactly.
That's never going away. So we got to find a way to do that. Anyway, that's why. But anyway, cheaters have been popping up, right? Obviously, because if you do that every other game, you're gonna run into a cheater in Warzone because there's no anti-cheat for some reason. And what?
Yeah.
Like what?
Stupid.
Like what?
Yeah.
What?
I talked about that with Lupo in like, remember in Fortnite, remember back 10 years ago when we played Fortnite, and actually I've been playing Fortnite a lot recently too, but you would see people that you would report get banned within minutes. Like you would immediately see it, and it was the most gratifying thing. And there was even, they were so good at it, they would have a custom message that would pop up and be like something funny about the person they just banned.
Yeah, got hit by the ban hammer or
yes.
Yeah.
Like that's how good their anti-cheat was. And that was in beta for 10 years. And Warzone, small indie company, I understand, that develops it, doesn't have a robust anti-cheat system. I don't think they care. I think they just don't care.
They gotta not care. No. There has to be some monetary benefit of handling it the way they're handling it. It's got to be cheaper, or
there's no incentive, I don't think.
Or they secretly own the company making the cheats. or like they're just like it's like a sub company.
Yeah.
It's like they're a shell corporation in freaking Barbados that owns this cheating company, but it's also owned by Activision. And then they're banning the guys, and the guys just buy the cheat again.
Yeah, they're like the window repair company that pays kids to go throw rocks at people's windows.
Exactly. It's like Safe Light Auto Glass. Like, hey kid, you want to make $5? That's what's happening. I don't. It's they just don't care. And there's honestly, if there was a pro scene in Warzone, like a real pro scene, like we're hosting tournaments, which there is none. A lot of people don't realize that, but there's no pro circuit for Warzone. It's only for multiplayer. And that's
you're right.
League. So that's probably a major reason, because it's just casual. It's just casual. Yeah, they're not going to spend the money on it.
It's purely money making from a cosmetic point of view. So there's no necessarily incentive to keep it fair for everybody, because it's not a tournament based platform to make money off of in that way. It's just cosmetic. So they probably don't care in that way. Where Fortnite was slightly different. There were quite a few tournaments based off of VR.
They announced their like intent to do huge tournaments worth tons of money immediately. Remember, to build their scene. They're like, this could be insane, and then it was.
Huge.
But they literally killed cheating in, like, you're right. Like, it took them 2 weeks to just completely eradicate it.
Yeah, I think we forgot what it was like to experience cheaters on such a regular basis. Like when we played Fortnite, it just wasn't a thing. You just didn't run into it. Was stream snipers. That was basically it. But you just didn't run into cheaters in Fortnite. It was very, very rare.
You didn't. There was early in the game, before the first season even. There was like guys running out with Summit 1G in their name, just firing a pistol in the air, killing everybody on the map.
Yes.
And it was just egregious and ridiculous. But after that, it just the day they're like, hey, we got rid of the cheaters, and they were like, oh, we'll see, and then they were just gone. And we're like, oh.
And they followed through. It was wild.
It was followed through. So I don't play the game really that much, so but I do find myself running into like, wow, I wish I could hear footsteps and also not be cheated on.
Exactly.
That'd be great. So if it hasn't happened yet, it's going to take a pro scene to get it like real pressure, right?
Or
like any sort of large, exodus of players, which very clearly isn't happening.
By that time, they'll have a new Warzone anyway. So
they're just gonna, import the new Call of Duty. Like there's gonna be a nuke goes off somehow. We go back in time 30 years or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
And speaking of cheating, you have some experience with this in your main job, I think.
I do. So hot topic in the baseball world, and I know we don't talk about baseball pretty much ever here on the podcast, but you know what? We don't have a damn guest, so we're gonna talk about baseball just a little bit. But cheating is a major hot button topic here in the Major League Baseball. And I thought that this would be fun to explain, because many people listening to the show don't have any clue what is happening. Like they know there's a huge issue. Probably I've been tweeting about it. So, but they don't know what it is or what sticky stuff is. So let me just give this explaining in gaming terms. Sticky stuff. So this sticky stuff is it's something you put on your hand. Think of, I don't know, the bowlers use dry hands because you get sweaty hands when you bowl. You can rub this cream on. It keeps your hands dry, so you don't have to worry about as much of the ball. You'll have grip on the ball the whole time. Think about it that way. Some guys have extra sweaty hands. They use the firm grip or whatever to make sure that their hands don't sweat and they can grip the ball. There's two problems with this. One, weather. So the weather varies wildly, and it's outdoors. Actually, some stadiums are indoors. It's super dry, like Arizona, and there's places outdoors in Colorado where the air is crazy dry, and you're high up in the mountains, so the air's thinner and the ball flies a little bit farther. So as pitchers, we want consistent feel of baseballs. Now the issue is baseballs are quote unquote rubbed up. A pearl is a ball that comes right out of the box. It's literally just the white ball with it's like leather that's kind of slick. It's not grippable.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they take this stuff called Mississippi mud. It's literally prepared dirt with water in it, and it comes in a jar, and they literally, there's either bat boys or there's someone at the field that's sitting there for hours and filling up a bag with like 100 balls for the game. Right. So if those balls sit in there in either a dry room or a humid room, they're either going to feel heavier or moist from being in a damp place, or they're going to be super chalky. So that mud just dries just like the field dries with the sun beating on it, and they have to spray it down with water, which they do all the time. The ball does the same thing. I'm a pitcher. We want to be able to throw the damn ball and have the ball feel the same every single time we go out, whether we are in Arizona or in Colorado or in New York.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, this is our one piece of equipment that we need to have control over. And it's a little bit about not hitting guys. It's a little bit, but it's mostly about, I want to throw the ball where I want to throw it because I want to throw it right down the middle and give up homers. I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you, I'd imagine, I obviously don't pitch professionally, but I would imagine for any breaking ball, you would want a consistent feel for friction. Maybe
friction.
all you did was like a fastball. Maybe that wouldn't matter as much. But if you want it to break, I would imagine you need
fastball. So fastball is important. Breaking ball most important. Changeup and sinkers and things that you want a lower spin on.
Yeah,
you want it actually slicker. So guys would use Vaseline and try that and to get it go the other way.
Sure.
This is universal, like for forever. There's a joke about it in Major League where he's like, just put some jalapeno and get the nose running and blah blah. Like this is that's a reference to like putting something on the ball to make it move the way you want it to move. Like that, it's like it's literally just part of the game. So there's a rule in the books that says you cannot put any foreign substance, something that's not supposed to be on the ball to help it in any way. So what has happened recently is we have science. We've realized that spin rate on a ball, the faster your ball spins, the more consistently it breaks. So if you have a really fast spinning breaking ball, it breaks a lot. If you have a really fast spinning fastball, it usually defies gravity a lot. Yeah. If you have a really slow spinning breaking ball, it goes with gravity a lot. Fastball, it goes with gravity. So that's a sinker, and you want the four-seam fastball to be right. So you want basically to miss barrel angles. So basically, hitters are just trying to match their bat to the angle at which the ball is coming into the zone. That's really all it is. That's the physics of baseball. And your pitchers are trying to mess that up with the movement of their pitches. So there's become the stickier the stuff, the higher the spin rate generally, and the higher the spin rate, the better you're considered at being now that that's the standard. So naturally, guys are going to experiment with things to improve their stuff in order to get more opportunities to play in the major leagues. Naturally, that makes sense, especially when it's a rule that's just not enforced. It hasn't been enforced in 6 years.
This may be semantics here, but what if you're just like, no foreign substance in the ball? What if it's a hot ass day and you're just wiping your forehead? I mean, technically that's sweat is going on the ball.
Yeah, but you're supposed to wipe the sweat on your jersey and then go to the ball.
They'll watch you do that?
Yeah, you can lick your fingers. You just have to wipe your fingers off before you go to the ball, which obviously there's ways to kind of
just not touch
really do it well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's wild.
Which, if you really think about it, if we're saying putting stuff on the ball is cheating, that's cheating too. So see how asinine this gets?
Yeah, it gets very granular where it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So basically, here's the issue. They've known about this increase. Nothing happened. They're like, hey, we're gonna look into it. So a PR. Here's what happened. A PR fiasco happened. People are like, bro, these spin rates are going up like crazy. This happened in spring training. Then the season started. Offensive numbers are down. Here's a side little note. The balls were changed this year to not go as far because in 19 and 20, they were juiced to hell and they went really far. They realized people didn't like watching homers only, so they changed it to make guys incentivized to hit the ball in the field more. Yeah. Okay, so they changed the ball to not go as far.
Yeah, exactly.
This year. Then in April and in May, there's suddenly less offense. Duh. But instead of that, we have the Twitter media saying, hey, bro, all these guys pitchers are getting too good.
Oh my god,
it's got to be because of sticky stuff. Then MLB's like, oh, we're looking into it because this is their playbook. They're not subtle. The people who run our league are lawyers. They think they're like the most shrewd, cleverest people on the planet, but in reality, they're just like a sledgehammer blowing through a wall, and they have one move. Their one move is use their media arm, leak everything to them to show that they're trying to fix the problem. Then they create the problem bigger to take away from the problem that they actually created, which they did.
It seems like these leaks are very regular.
And the leaks are always to like three people, same three guys every time who just lap it up. They love it. They're, oh my God, I got one. I'm in the crew, right? So they this memo comes out like, hey, we're looking into it. We're taking the balls and checking what the sticky stuff is. Blah, 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 blah. This whole like, hey, we're looking into it. Cool. Halfway through the year, it's rising to a peak where now it's been alluded to. Everyone's got spin rates. Now everyone's finding everyone's spin rate that going through everyone's stats so basically everyone's getting accused of being a cheater. Anyone who's good, which now as a pitcher, I'm like, great. Now we have to defend ourselves because then we'll be letting this run wild, even though it's a rule they didn't enforce ever. So like, it's still your fault. So both things are their fault, and what they're trying to do is create a situation where hitters are now against pitchers, and the public sees it as players cheating. There's a gigantic hole in the way that they are handling it.
If I may be so bold, go ahead. Finish your
go ahead. Be bold.
I was just gonna say, I feel like the MLB is really trying to avoid the actual elephant in the room, in that their game, at least from without any type of extra marketing, their game as it exists is not as appealing to people as they would hope it would be. So they're making these like small changes, but then they just create problems for themselves, and then they try to fix those problems they just created by making more small changes. But they just need to overhaul the system. I keep thinking of, whenever people talk about baseball, I always think of how they changed cricket from like a 5-day game to like a 60-minute game.
Yeah.
Like they just completely, and it revolutionized cricket. And India just like has this huge like $1 billion business now from cricket because they just changed how the game plays. And they just refuse to do that.
So in gaming terms, and I know I said that's what I was going to do, and I haven't done it yet. Think about it this way: we're all upset about the meta. Think about metas in games. If the way that you play, whether it's meant to be a bug or not meant to be a bug, like for example, slide cancel. If they just took away slide canceling in COD,
like an exploit almost, kind of.
Even though it's completely like canceling your slide and stuff, it's completely within there's buttons for it. So like,
exactly.
It's a thing that should exist. It's just some controllers might have an easier way to do it than mouse and keyboard. So it could be advantaged that way. Then one day they just take it away. Say, hey, this is a major problem. It's gone. Just like that day. And you're like, whoa. That's a huge part of how I play. And are you going to be happy about it? Whether or not you agree or not, are you going to be happy? Of course not. Of course not. You're going to be like, wow, I have to adjust especially if you're a professional player at it. You're like, well, hell, what? Or they just nerf your gun. Or think about it this way. In 19, they juiced the hell out of the balls. They wanted them to all go over the fence. They denied that, which is hilarious because 8 teams broke the team home run record that year. 8 teams. 8. That's a third of the teams in the league broke the record. Again, not subtle. So I'm like, they denied it, and then this year, like, hey guys, we deadened them. Like, what'd you deaden them from? I thought you didn't juice them. Like, it's just, this is constantly what we're doing. So imagine they nerfed your gun, but then denied that they did it. But it's obviously nerfed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Now you don't know if you should change or not. You know what I mean? You're like, what? You just feel like you're out of, you have no control. So that's where the frustration comes. And then so this whole sticky stuff thing happens. We all agree there's an issue. Like if the whole community is like, this is the issue, but that issue, like they don't agree or they don't want that issue they don't want to address that issue because it might be their problem. Then they create some sort of issue that's your problem. That's you need to solve, which is the everyone's cheating narrative, which is it's insane because there are some people that are straight up like, honestly, I'm like, wow, I should have tried more sticky. I didn't try this stuff. I didn't know this was going on. Really, to this, I didn't know this was even possible. I could have done this.
Yeah, everyone was cool with this. All right,
everyone was cool with this, right?
It's just pine tar all over everyone's hat, and just like
what? Like whoa, hey, and so. And then they go, hey, you have 6 days to figure it out. So there's guys who've been playing since they were 16 years old, right? That were like that have had all this technology and like to show them that they're good. And they were leaning into all the things they did well and like trying to maximize their stuff to get drafted and then get to the big leagues and get an opportunity to play because that's the playing field. And they knew that, there's probably going to be no consequences for adding this to your repertoire, like adding this to the thing you do. And then suddenly they're like, and here's the rug under you. So here's the way it was supposed to be handled. Hey, at the end of this year, we'll figure it out. We'll get a tackier ball because position players also or like sometimes have a little bit of sticky stuff, and catchers have a little bit on their.
How is that not the most obvious solution? Is to just change the chemistry of the ball
because it takes time and money. The same way that like getting people to watch the game. Maybe not blocking out entire regions of the country to certain games would help more people watch them. But that whole dynamic is a huge part of the huge TV deals they sign. So that's a non-starter. They're like, we're not going to touch that, even though that would solve our problem much, much, much better. We're going to keep saying this problem exists, and then we're going to do whatever the third or fourth best option is because it's less effort and money on our point, and the players then have to front the burden. So that's the strategy. It's every single time. It was that in COVID too. We had an argument, whatever, and they're like, blah, 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 60 games. We're not going to go. We kept going back. Hey, we'll play 90. Hey, we'll play 85. Hey, we'll play 80. Hey, and then we got to 60. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we can do 60. We're like, you wanted 60 the whole time. None of this was. And they got the public narrative on players don't want to play.
Yeah, that clearly worked. I remember you getting a lot of hate for that.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I'm saying is the narrative's constantly being controlled because there's a media arm literally owned by the MLB called MLB TV, which is let me just be very clear here. Everyone who works there, I love interacting with. I love doing stuff with them. I love doing their shows. I love hanging out. I love doing podcast. Like I love coming on shows and talking to people. I love it, and it's no one's fault. It's just the strategy. It is. It's just important that the narrative is being talked about the other way. So I'm using this as an example, but in terms of like the meta, like they're taking away our ability, our competing meta that a lot of people say, hey, this is how I compete, and this is actually keep me on a level playing field. And they've created the narrative that we're actually on a higher playing field than hitters because sticky stuff is making the offensive numbers. That's the proof they're putting out. When in reality, the biggest cause is probably the balls being changed again arbitrarily from year to year because the balls are different every single year. Instead of just saying, hey, we're going to stop caking on dirt.
Mississippi mud.
I think eventually too, and here's my solution. Everyone's like, well, what's your solution then? There needs to be a quote unquote tacky, not slick, just something that's tacky, something that's perceived as you can grab it and there's some friction and you can throw the ball and that's what goes on the ball. And it's either you rub them up like that or you provide a little tiny little tin of something that's really low stick, but it's something. And that's the standard. And you can only use that.
Yeah,
literally
something.
All
but
pitchers, all position players, all catchers will be like, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I can work with this. There's something. I can make this. I can get this to a level where I can grip the ball. And though I maybe not have the grip I had before, you're not just like, kicking my legs out from under me either.
Yeah. Everyone's on the same playing field and you've acknowledged that the ball isn't ideal and you've given everyone a tool to solve it. However, effective that tool is, can come up later in debate, but at least everyone has the same thing, same playing field.
Exactly.
Same playing field.
And now instead of saying, hey, halfway through the season, we're going to do this to you, hang with them. We'll fix it later is basically what they're saying. And it's just like, of course, pitchers are mad. But when pitchers get mad, everyone thinks that's an admission of guilt.
Yeah.
So you see how this is like a lose-lose? It's very, very frustrating and there's very little control. But if you focus on the things you can control, like I've been honest. I told every pitcher, I'm like, hey, if you get a ball that's dirt or like chalky and you can't grip it, throw it out. Like, be like, nah, this one's not good. 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 And just keep doing it until you get one because that's the only control you have. You have control over what ball you want to throw. That's it. If you have to throw 8 out in a row, do it. If you feel like you need to do that, do it. And if that slows down the game that they're frantically trying to make shorter, then so be it. Because it's not our fault. They're not going to fix the balls. They're not going to address the problem. Just show that we need the problem addressed. I want to. It's my job. I'm out here working my ass off, and I want to have a comfort level that the hitters have when they put sticky shit all over their bat in order to grip it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to have a standardization of my equipment so that I can feel comfortable getting my job done. That's all. That's all we're asking. So that's where we're at, and it's just super frustrating. And you see a lot of people getting really frustrated about it. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be, we're going to have to find a way to fix it. And I think I've already seen the last couple of days, guys are just like, oh, this is fine. Don't worry about it. It's just I'm that whole like narrative driving, like it's just not honest, and it's not what it is at face value. It never is, and that's the playbook. And so, but the issue that it actually is nowhere close to what they're the fact, even remotely comparing it to steroids is hilarious to me. Like it's not even. It's just like, come on,
the same thing.
We're not enhancing. First of all, steroids are bad for you.
You don't know if pine tar causes cancer. You don't know.
Well, evidently, you just got rid of COVID, so I think there's a bunch of laxing COVID rules coming up too. Just coincidentally at the exact same time. It's almost as if we're getting a bone thrown to us. I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, that's the baseball cheating scandal. I went way off on it, but I just needed people to know. I thought it would be interesting. People think about it, but we can talk about something.
There's no way that we saw explaining the baseball cheating situation in the script, and you weren't going to talk about it for a while.
Yeah, I also wrote that in there, so
not going to happen.
Of course, but more positive note. A sick trailer.
Oh.
We haven't had sick trailers for games in a while. Battlefield 1942. Oops.
Yikes.
Though Battlefield 1942 was an awesome game.
Not again. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was it 1942?
I think it was Battlefield 1942. It's the one where you could just like go in by yourself and just play against AI, and they just come in waves and you just pop at people.
No, but this one was amazing.
I mean, come on. Like think about Battlefield. What was it? Battlefield World War II?
Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1. Well, did they have a World War II one? I mean, obviously,
or was that one? And then
one.
there was modern. Okay, so hold on. Call of Duty was World War II recently, like in the last 5 years. And then BF1. Yeah, it was BF1. It was World War I.
BF1 was World War I. BF5. Let's see. Battlefield.
Yeah, let's actually look this up.
Battlefield 5 was first person. Obviously, doesn't say where it was based. All of our listeners are like, I can't believe they don't know what this.
BF1 was like I remember the cinematic and the trailer being insane.
Yes.
So they do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're good at that.
They're very good at that.
But my reaction to the trailer was like, this is awesome. Oh, and they give the nod to that huge streamer play that was famous in the community. That was really freaking cool.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah. I love the little fan service in there. That was so great of the guy jumping out of the jet and rocket launching the other jet, chasing him and hopping back in. Like the most unrealistic, never gonna happen thing, but it was just a thing that you did, and it was probably one of the more gratifying things you could do in Battlefield.
Yeah, super cool. And there's like a famous clip of the first guy doing it. Yeah. And it was a streamer, and it showed him watching. I saw a clip of him watching the trailer on his stream and just losing his mind because he was in it basically.
That's so cool.
Which is super cool. But the game looks cool based on that trailer. Yes. But what is your prediction for how the game's going to actually play?
How it's going to play?
Yeah, like is it going to be fun?
Oh! I mean, dude, every Battlefield has been to some extent fun. I've been rehashing Battlefield 4. They just had it for free. They might still have it for free. I don't know. I think it was either Epic Games or Prime. Like Amazon Prime had it for free. And so the player base is swelled in anticipation of the new one, obviously. And if it's anything close to how 4 was great.
Everyone liked 4.
Looking at 4 and how polished it is and how good it looks, even compared to modern games like Modern Warfare or Escape from Tarkov or whatever, like just polished, clean, functioning, like no major bugs or anything like that. Just really well polished game. And I think that's obviously a tribute to DICE, but also the Frostbite engine is just I think it'll play really, really, really well. And I think people have been waiting for this game since Battlefield 4 because you've had these Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 1, like kind of like, I don't know how many times we can rehash World War 1 and 2. I love the mythology of World War 2, like that whole, I don't know, there's a lot of cool concepts there. But man, is it overdone. It's the zombie of first-person shooter.
First-person shooter.
It's just overdone. So Battlefield
mind control.
Yeah, exactly. 2042, I think, is going to be a huge breath of fresh air. I'm not huge into like the super futuristic stuff. I think it's just futurish enough where it's fine. But
movement. There needs to be less movement futuristic movement stuff and more like futuristic guns. Like, we don't want guys like freaking side strafing, beaming you in the head while they're jetpacking like up at a diagonal. Like, you're like, I can't hit you at all, and you are crushing me.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, I think learning new physics is tough for people. Tough. But I think if you have, other than Halo, which somehow breaks every rule that there is, I think, about first-person shooters, but as long as you have good gunplay, consistent gunplay, and everyone's on the same playing field, I think it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about this, but it's October. Like, we have so much time. It's October 17th or something. October, what is it?
Yeah, 22nd, I think.
22nd? Yeah. It's just so far from now that it's 22nd. Yeah, it's hard to get excited about it just because I know it's going to be forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play it. It's a first-person shooter.
Of course. We play all first-person shooters.
But, trailer to get me fired up. I'm going to be honest, and this is just a little side note. There's a trailer that actually fired me up. Like, I legitimately was like, this game looks
really
so good. Even though it's not my type of game, I think it's going to be an RPG and like a one-player game or maybe a co-op game. I don't know.
Okay.
But Elden Ring.
Oh, I heard a little bit about Elden Ring.
Dude, so the story's written by George R.R. Martin.
Really?
Game of Thrones, which is, come on. But it looks very like, it's got like kind of anime like feeling, like, so like it's very Dark Soulsy.
Ooh.
Like,
someone mentioned that, like a Dark Souls RPG almost.
It's like a Dark Souls RPG, but dude, if you go look at like how it's super unique. The bad guys are all super unique. The fighting looks very similar to Dark Souls. Like, it's going to be, invulnerable. What's it called? Invulnerability window.
Oh,
it's like timing your rolls to the attack. Yeah, but like, it's beautiful. It looks like it's on the same engine as well. It looks kind of like Dragon Age or, one of those, but like,
looks super
completely
good.
Unique story. It's not like a remake.
Oh, it's its own universe, own story.
Yeah.
Thing. Oh wow. Okay, that's sick.
It's got like there's a game developer, Miyazaki. I can't remember what games he made. It's not the guy who does the animation stuff, like the famous animator in Japan, but he's a Japanese guy. And you see the Japanese influence of like, the weird creatures you come across, and like a giant turtle with a bell on his belt, like weird, dark. That's very Dark Soulsy too. But I was just like, dude, the trailer, I was like, I'm absolutely fired up.
I'm getting more, I feel like, drawn to that kind of genre of RPG because I've been watching more and more videos about how WoW is like the worst game of all time now. And
is it?
And it's people are not happy about it. And
with Shadowlands?
It seems like they are. Oh yeah, they're still on the launch patch.
Oh, they haven't put out a new content patch at all?
No. And as far as I know, as of today, June 17th, they have not announced the release date of the new patch yet. They've said it's coming, but they have no idea when.
Well, they released, Burning Crusade.
Oh my gosh. So this is the this is the longest launch patch in the game's history. They have not added any new content. So people are not happy. So everyone's going to Final Fantasy 14, I think.
Really?
Yeah. FF14 is, people are loving it.
Dude, Final Fantasy have the best replayability. The people who like those games go back 3, 4, 5 times a year.
Yes. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's just good. They just did a good job. One of the things I thought was very interesting is that we're kind of hopping from game to game here, but just a quick note on this. Final Fantasy 14, apparently the like the lead director, creative director, or whatever, who was like in charge of the game when it first came out, or towards the middle of when it came out, said, "All right, developers, go play WoW, and then come back and we'll make a new game." and they essentially just went and played WoW and found all the things they hated about it and then made another game.
Tab targeting.
Yeah, like all of these different things, all of these issues, all of these things that don't make sense, they just dropped all of them and then made their own game. And a lot of people from the WoW community are really enjoying it. So I think I might want to get involved here.
What can I mean? It's a great variety area too. It's a very great variety time because everyone's playing variety games, except for Tim and Nick, obviously. But everyone else, everyone else is trying.
Everyone else is playing different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've noticed that. Like, I'll pop in and it'll be Apex, and then it'll be Fortnite, and then it'll be Warzone, and then it'll be Tarkov, and then it'll be. BF4.
It's actually it's a fun time. It's a fun time. Once you get past the weird part of like, I don't know what game to play, and then you find like 9 games, and you're like, sick, I'll rotate these out.
Yeah, and you're like, wow, I wish this was the way that I made content for my whole life.
Exactly.
Speaking of Fortnite.
Oh,
hey, Jinx, you owe me a Coca-Cola.
Fuck you.
woo!
Why do we use that one? Fortnite UFOs. There's UFOs. Aliens are coming. And stuff. But in more important than anything, it seems like you can make content in the game right now.
Yes. It's actually kind of like content heaven a little bit.
Like,
it's
get
nice.
your friends together. And I'm gonna be honest, I was watching your 4 squad with Jen and was it? It was Pool, Callie, and Tim.
No, I don't. Was it Pool? We've alternated so many times.
Or maybe not Pool and no, Jen was there. She was just laughing really hard every time.
Yeah, Jen Darkness and Callie. Yeah.
And you guys were fighting so many bots. And it was and I'd be like, dude, this is probably a lot of fun because now you can just mess around. And know that like one of those bots is gonna build, the other 3 are just gonna like strafe and try to shoot you. And so you can mess around.
It's nice.
It's not sweaty.
Yeah. You faced like maybe 1, maybe 2 sweaty teams or players. But that's fun because then it switches it up. Now you have to kind of be serious and see if you can make a good play. Where before it was just like every team you ran into was just kind of like freaking build to the sky. I'm out of mats, like build, edit down, rebuild. Like all this stuff was just so much, and you didn't have time for content. It was like you couldn't even do it. You were dead, waiting for a revive.
And then all you did was like try to time the primal shotgun or something, or the charge shotgun. Like that's all it was. That's all the content there was. Now you can get 4 UFOs and you can like yeet people. You can pick them up, just throw them. Which is so funny. Or just like fly really high in the air and just drop them.
Yes. And I know a lot of people are like, I posted a clip on TikTok of the UFO and people are like, it's overpowered.
Of course it's overpowered.
And I was like, I mean, kind of, but not really. Like it's a little overpowered, but it's also not like, it's not the mech. The mech was stupid.
You had to shoot the mech so many times and it was so strong. And it had 2 different guns.
Yeah, it wasn't a meme. It was just like use this to murder everyone on the server. And the UFOs are kind of slow. They're a little clunky. They shoot very large projectile that take forever to get there. But you can tractor beam people and meme them, and it's fun.
Yeah,
so I'm having a ton of fun.
Memeing is always fun. I have it downloaded. I downloaded Fortnite and I downloaded Call of Duty just in case I got on one day and you guys were all playing one of them and I could play with you. I'm gonna be honest. I've been playing Apex still mostly offline.
Oh really?
Having a blast. I got a free box and got freaking Bangalore's heirloom weapon. So
what?
I got an heirloom weapon in a free box. I have to play now more.
Oh my gosh, dang it! I still don't have an heirloom. I've been waiting for years.
So now I have Lifeline and I put too much money in that game.
Of course you have to.
So now I play Bangalore and I have Lifeline only.
Yeah,
because I want to bring my drumsticks out and run around.
But drumsticks. I would love to see you again online ever. That'd be great.
I would love to play more. Dude, I've been getting really into doing the vlogs. So that's kind of becoming the content right now. And so that means like just playing video games before stream is just cool because I get everything else done at the field.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And whenever you get on, you just do tier lists and play the show, so
I do. I do. And most of the time I get on and I'm like an hour or 2 behind you and you guys are all like, you're already in your thing, which makes sense. You're already doing your thing.
Yeah.
Like you weren't supposed to know that I just was going to randomly get on. Though next Thursday before the pod, I'm going to be streaming. Just so you know.
Okay.
I have an off day for only an off day for 30 days.
Holy crap!
And then in the All-Star break, many days in a row. Even though Kate would like, I don't know if you knew this, everybody, but Kate and I bought a new house
Woo!
in Seattle, and unfortunately,
Very exciting.
not unfortunately, but
What?
unfortunately, actually, this is unfortunately. She would love me to fly out to like move into her house over the All-Star break, and I'm just like, I don't want to at all. Like, I would love to close in the house and get like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna sit there and be like, oh, the internet doesn't work, or something, or like we're gonna like not have our bed ready, or like, you know, I just want to sit where I'm sitting right this moment and play video games for 4 days.
Exactly.
That's really all I want to do. I just want to hang out, maybe go into the city, do dinner one day or something, and just like not worry about it.
Have you had a chance to like go into the city and like have dinners?
Twice.
Okay.
Twice. We went and saw my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, my sister and my brother-in-law. We went to an awesome place in Brooklyn, and then we went to a place called Sushi Yasuda in Manhattan. That is my God. Like, I don't know. I actually don't know how much. I know you're okay on sushi. You're like, sushi's good.
I like sushi.
But I don't know how Tirza is.
Oh yeah, loves sushi. Loves it.
Oh, well then this is like an omakase place, dude. It's freaking awesome. But
really? Oh, damn. Okay. Let's freaking get to it. Let's go.
So we'd love to take you to sushi one day is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, when are you guys coming back, by the way?
Hell yeah. Okay.
Whenever. Come back whenever, dude.
When you aren't super busy, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's a good point.
I don't know that it's us as much as it's you, but I don't know that it's...
If you just want to watch some games, just let me know. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah. All right, good.
Well, Paul, I'm going to be honest. Our last subject here, I have no idea what it's about.
Dude, I don't really know either. I don't know.
All right, well, PM, you want to... Bryce Hall got beat up. I'm assuming this is YouTubers versus TikTokers, boxers.
Yeah. The script is Bryce Hall got his ass beat.
Is this the future of boxing? I really hope non-boxers boxing isn't the future of boxing.
Yeah, no, God, I hope not.
What happened was just a bunch of YouTubers and TikToks went at it. It was a joke of a whole thing, but it's now become this whole spectacle of like, who's next? Who's gonna fight who? And yeah, it's annoying.
Bro, ever since Logan Paul got knocked out in the ninth round and was held up in order to not end the fight, I'm never watching boxing ever again. If Tyson Fury's not fighting, I'm not watching.
I never actually saw that clip. Did he in fact get knocked out?
Oh my God, he's out.
Yeah,
really?
He's out cold, and then like
he's out. And he catches him, and then he holds him for a second, and then the guy comes over and separates him, and he's like, "Oh, what happened?" Like, you got knocked out.
Really?
Yeah. No, it wasn't even close, man. He was toying with him the whole time. Like, it wasn't even.
Oh,
it was awful. I'm like, it's so funny. I was just sitting on Twitter because I was on a flight, and everyone's like, basically every single person's like, "What am I watching?" I'm like, "You're watching exactly what you thought you knew you were going to watch. What are you talking about, man?" Like, this wasn't going to be a good fight. Logan's had one fight with another YouTuber, and he lost.
Oh, my goodness.
Right? Like, it's not like he's going to freaking beat Floyd.
No, there's no shot he's going to beat. Even at 47, that's right? That's how old?
44.
44? The man is old AF, and he just... I got it. Yeah. I hope, to answer this question in here, is this the future of boxing? Do I think it is? Absolutely. Does that make me cry inside? Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. And I think it's not going to stop here. I don't know why it would. I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I'm gatekeeping. Maybe I'm gatekeeping. Are we gatekeeping boxing? Are we gatekeeping, our gas
fan? Are you a boxing fan?
Or gate lighting? No, I feel like you could apply this rule to everything. You could have freaking celebrity baseball games, which they do have, celebrity basketball games and stuff like that. But MMA, why not? Like, just keep it going. I don't know. You how much money do you think they made off of this? Like 7 figures, easy, like multiple?
Yeah.
So I have no idea.
They probably made 8. I don't know. Sure. Like, I don't know. They just probably made a boatload of money. So if you're going to pay me that much money to get knocked out by Mayweather, then fine. Whatever. I'll deal with the CTE as long as you pay me $10 million. Like, sure, whatever.
I feel bad for the people that pay for this and watch it and then like expect it to be legit. Like in the clause of the Mayweather and Logan Paul fight, or like whoever it was, in the clause it said there is no clear winner. Like in the actual contract, it was like there's going to be no cleared predetermined winner or determined winner unless you knock him out.
Yeah,
unless it's clearly knocked out. Yeah,
only knockout. So they're literally making it so they can do a number 2.
Yeah, because imagine Mayweather isn't pulling punches here, because clearly he is. Because if you accidentally knock someone out and you hold them up, you're pulling punches.
Yeah, dude, and then at the end he's like, hey, big shout out for staying in there for 12 rounds with me. And you're like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
You're like, Floyd, you have never given props to anybody. Like, dude, you're really cementing this whole thing. And I knew immediately, like, I can't even watch Floyd fight real fighters anymore, because he's like, oh no, this guy actually might hit me hard. Backpedal. And then everyone's like, Floyd doing what Floyd does. Here's some extra points for backpedaling. And you're like, what? I don't. So you've created this narrative that you are a defensive fighter, so now you get a win when you're not knocked out. Like, what?
Exactly.
It's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I hate it.
So boring. That's why you watch heavyweights just haymaker each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's all they can do.
That's fun. Anyway, yes. Rounds. So, and long story long. Yeah, it's the future, and it sucks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We all hate it. We're also old millennials. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
To our listeners and viewers, hey, you go sub to the YouTube. All right, YouTube.com. Search May Contain Action. Sub there if you like to see the live videos. We try to record as many of these guys as possible. You can see our awesome facial reactions. And occasionally see our producer PM when he pops in, probably eating food. Also, follow us on Twitch.
God.
Yeah, get absolutely wrecked, PM. Twitch.tv/May Contain Action. We are now an affiliate. So if you'd like to subscribe to the Twitch channel, you can absolutely do that. If that's the way you want to support us, we would love it. Subscribe at twitch.tv/May Contain Action. All right. Also, moving right along, we have some listener questions we'd like to get into really quickly. Some of you guys left some questions, which we freaking love. Also, that actually a natural segue into the next point. Follow us on Twitter, because this is where we ask these things. If we ever do an AMA, or we want to get your guys' opinion on something, or do a poll, Twitter is where you can find us at May Contain Podcast. Right? What is that?
May Contain Pod. May Contain Pod.
Put me in there. Love that. Right, May Contain Pod. All right, our first question comes from Geeksay, friend of the pod. You get to go back in time and play on any sports team you choose. Who are you picking? If I got to go back in time and play on any sports team, who am I picking? So, two teams immediately come to mind. For me, because I'm sure this is a me question, Trevor, because I'm the athlete here. I don't really think this is for you. So I'm going to answer first. I would say for me, either the 95 Bulls.
Ooh.
Yeah. That seemed like the height of drama. And this is
not the
purely
96 Bulls?
I mean, because that's when the Bull 96 is like kind of where it tapered off, I guess.
Well, that was when they were just like way better than everybody.
Yeah.
Like, weren't they like 72 and 10 or something?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'd probably do that season. I'd probably 95 to 96.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Because that seems like height of drama. And also, ironically enough, I probably want to be on the Cowboys as well anytime in the 90s, because that seemed fucking wild. Seems like there's crazy stuff was happening on that team. And so just to be like a backup kicker or something on that team would have been great just to witness. So that's my answer. I don't know. I just more for the controversy, I guess, to be like, because people talk about it like I was on that team.
Yeah, you want to say you were on the team, but not actually have to do anything or be involved. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel the same way. Like, so I would say for me, like 95 Seattle Mariners, best team they ever had. That's when they won their playoff series that they have in their entire franchise history.
Yep.
And that would have been cool because it's a bunch of my idols, Griffey, not A-Rod, but he was on the team.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson, like these guys were our legends. Jay Buhner, like they're Northwest legends. It would have been cool to be on that team with them. And growing up watching that team, you're like, oh, I would love to be on it. But
very cool.
Let me hit you with a basketball team. Playing with Shaq and Kobe at any point.
Oh, true.
Would have been freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But again, though, I'm the eighth guy at the bench. I'm like a 6'9" power forward, so I'm undersized for the position. But I try really hard. I work really hard. I'm Adam Morrison. I'm Adam Morrison on those teams. And he's got 2 rings, so I want to be him. But like, Shaq and Kobe, watch them take over and just cheering would be so cool.
That'd be awesome to do behind the curtain.
What about the 2001 Portland Trailblazers, the Jailblazers era?
The Jailblazers, yeah. I don't know if that's my aesthetic. You know what I mean?
That seems like to be yours, though, PM.
No, Paul mentioned the Cowboys and just how being in that kind of dysfunctional locker room would be what you'd want to do. The Jailblazer era was an interesting one that definitely deserves a 30 for 30. Just a quick side note, one of my favorite stories is Quintel Woods once got pulled over for speeding in Portland, didn't have his ID, didn't have his wallet, but he handed the officer his basketball card and was like, "This is me." And he had like a pound of weed in the back. And he was just like, "Yeah, this is me." And that was like a normal story with that team.
The Jailblazers. That's wild.
Who else was on that? Was Damon Stoudemire there?
Rasheed Wallace.
Damon Stoudemire, Sheed. I'm blank, but they were a really good team.
Isaiah Ryder.
Yep, Ryder.
Ooh.
Bonsai Wells.
Yeah,
Bonsai Wells.
Ruben
Patterson.
Bonzi Wells is great.
With his freaking headband, dude.
Zach Randolph. Yeah,
Zach Randolph was there in 2001? I don't think it was.
Yeah, Zach Randolph was fresh off a murder charge. So there's that for you.
Oh my God. He sucker punched Ruben Patterson in the face during practice.
Ruben Patterson.
The sucker punch is the funniest punch. It's the worst, but it's just.
Was Arvidas there at the time?
No, I think that was after Sabonis. I think that was after all
my favorite
that.
basketball player of all time. Best knee braces in the league.
They blew that up and then restarted, and I think Darius Miles was on that team.
Damon Stoudemire.
Yeah,
it was quite. Yeah, it's the Jailblazers.
Team. Jailblazers. Right. They need Love an that. HBO like 30 for 30 something on that team because there is a lot of shit that happened there. Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
There's some good answers. All right, Average Siege asked, "What's been the most difficult part of running a podcast?" Trevor, you want to take that one?
Timing. Oh my God, having the time to do it, especially weekly. It's just it's being consistent with it and trying to give yourself like scheduled breaks. Is a nightmare, but it's also extremely fun and rewarding to do, especially when you have a really great guest or something really cool to talk about, and just you and me both just like sitting and shooting shit. So like this is perfect. So, but the hardest part definitely I think is just coordinating.
Yeah, I agree. I think that working out schedules that work for everybody is tough because we all have so much going on. It's kind of the nature of a content creator. It's not like you have like one project you're working on. It's like you have 17 projects and then you have 18 more in your head that you want to start. And so with Trevor, I'm sure it's like 100. So it's definitely difficult to time that up. And I also think just like, I think for me, it's doing the podcast in a timely manner, but also thinking of like new ways to make it like to not feel like you're I don't know, stagnating. I don't want to feel like I'm stagnating.
Yeah.
So I want to keep making good content. I don't want to feel like we're stagnating. And so actually, I will say, shout out to our recent additions to the MCA podcast. I'm not sure if that's public or not, or like what we're saying.
It's behind the scenes. They're helping.
It's friggin' yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of people behind the scenes that are actually really helping us take a better look at it, and it's been nice. It's been refreshing. So, definitely timing and getting everyone's schedules together is tough.
100%.
Love that question, Average Siege, because no one thinks about like. Everyone wants to do a podcast, but then like when you start it, it's like, oh frick, this is hard.
Oh God, it's really hard to keep up, man. It is. That's why I never made it past 13 up to this point.
Exactly. Next question comes from Spartan Boomer. If you had to do it all over again, how would you promote / market your brand now? So I'll start with this one. If I had to do it all over again, I would have a mindset that I'm gonna succeed. So I think that means take it more seriously, which means I would be more serious or intentional about my name. I think because we talk about that all the time in the podcast, like what was your name? And it was like freaking Princess X underscore FN, like something like ridiculous. So being consistent with your
Somewhere
naming.
Princess X underscore FN is just like super sad. Anyway, continue.
Wow,
I just imagine someone at the computer just like slowly frowning and then just turning the computer off and walking away.
like some stupid name like that. You know what I mean? So I think naming would have been really important to me, getting my name right and consistent, and just having that be the thing I called myself and taking that more seriously. That's pretty much it. Everything else kind of falls into place for me. What do you think?
Yeah,
Trev?
you just kind of wish you. Yeah, okay, I got.
For me, yeah.
Honestly, there's a little part of me that wishes I would have had like something that wasn't my name, but I think that was actually a good move. Keeping
For
it this
sure.
way.
Yeah.
I think, but a big thing that I think I could have done with my gaming side, because to be honest, I built my like YouTube channel, my gaming YouTube channel, completely independent of my baseball. Like literally,
Mhm.
it really has. Like I very rarely even reference playing a major league professional sport or whatever, and I wish that I would have literally leaned into that way harder. I think
The athlete gamer
the
thing.
athlete gamer thing, because to be honest, the athlete gamer thing, a lot of other athlete gamers who haven't developed their gaming brand even close to as much as I have gotten a lot more opportunities right out the gate just by playing up the fact that they were an athlete. Not play. I don't want to say
Yeah.
playing it up.
Leaning into it.
Leaning into it a little bit more, or just like activating that side of things a little better, and like giving people who like the sport you for the sport you play to also be a fan of you for this, as opposed to like separating so much to where uh and I don't think the overlap is still huge for baseball, but
Mm-hmm.
the creating content around baseball, I think is something I should have done 4 years ago when I started. Like, but a lot of that comes with like getting yourself established in the major leagues. Don't want to look like an idiot. Don't want to like, I didn't want to, for example, I didn't want to like create a distraction and be like, oh, I only have one year in the major leagues, and I'm super hyper focused on making vlogs. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to answer for that stuff now that I'm established enough, and then I know that time spent literally doesn't affect me on the baseball field. And if anything, when I started streaming is when I started pitching like more consistently better. Like I became a better version of myself, and it gave me like I like really liked it. It was like a escape, but at the same time, it was detached, and I was like I was growing both things together, and that was, and I wish that I would have leaned more into like, here's some behind the scenes baseball stuff, here's the fun stuff we do, and just realizing that like my life is completely unique. And
I think, you have you have a hyper unique point of view, but also I think maybe this is true for you, that you intentionally separated those two things and didn't even think of yourself as a quote unquote content creator. You just thought of yourself as a baseball game player and a gamer separately. And gaming is its own thing. It was only kind of recently in the past couple of years I've thought of myself as more of a quote content creator, where the whole world is open to me. I don't have to do just gaming. I could do any content. Doesn't matter what it is.
That's part of it too. 100%. 100%. And just knowing, and the opportunities now too. Like a lot of like this whole vlogging thing, blah, blah. It wasn't really even a thing 4 years ago in professional sports either. So maybe I just didn't need to be the first guy either to get me to go and do it.
Yeah.
But now I've been doing it, man. It's not only that, like yesterday, I mic'd up one of my teammates yesterday. This is a little bit of a teaser for vlog number 4. Number 3 is being edited right now, but vlog number 4 is also being recorded while the other one's being edited. I'm on top of it. But I literally followed a teammate, a mic, because I got one of those lapel mics.
Nice.
A really nice one. It's great.
What I just bought 2. Which one did you get?
I got the Rode, the Rode like filmmaker kit.
Oh, damn! Let's go.
So it's like they're bigger packs, but like it's a little bit of a higher quality signal, and then you can link like 8 of them up at once.
Nice. Okay.
So I mic'd a teammate up, and I literally followed him around like a cameraman, like doing the zoom when he walked by and like trying to keep it smooth. And I was like, wow, first of all, this camera's heavy as hell. Second, I need like I need a higher zoom lens so that guys out in center field, I'd be able to zoom way in on them.
Yeah.
So now I'm like thinking about, do I need a bigger lens for those days?
Oh man, dude, you're getting into it.
But I was like, I don't like being the cameraman per se, but I do like making this video. So I sat behind the turtle, which is the thing, the backstop when guys are hitting BP. That's called the turtle. A lot of people don't know that. And he walked me through. He was like talking out loud into the mic what he was trying to accomplish in the first round and the second round. And then he told me like, here's what like Lindor hit there too, and Pilar hit there, and Tomas Nita, who's the catcher that day, and they were all doing like kind of just their swings were a little different. I was like, what is he trying to do? What is he? And he's like, we're all trying to like get something going within what we do well as hitters, and this is our first round is for that. And I was like, this is gold. Like they're gonna love this. And it was super cool because I went on him and then I went on the hitter and then I went on him and I had to like I was like getting different angles. He was doing he went deeper into like the hole to do ground balls like at first base, the first baseman, and I like went kind of out in the outfield and went behind him so you could see the guy hitting the ball at the same time.
How did your like coach is just like cool with you doing this? By the way,
I was just like, hey, Pete's mic'd up and I'm following his ass around. It's basically what I said. I'm like, they're like, you have time for this? I'm like, dude, I literally go in after throwing and I sit there for 3 hours. Like not sit there, but like I'm just doing like I have like 30 minutes off to go do something and 30 minutes off to eat, and I have lots of time. So I'm like, I have 30 minutes. I'm just going to follow him around and see what we can get, see how this works. It's just a proof of concept. And I was like,
yeah, exactly.
This is awesome. So it was great. And it's a lot of fun. And I wish I would have gotten into this a little bit earlier.
This is smart, man. I mean, I think it's helpful. I don't think you're losing a whole lot because I think your market's much bigger now with New York than it was with Minnesota. But I think that it's great timing. Great timing. At least you didn't think of it like in October. You're like, oh shoot, this would have been good all season or something. So
yeah, and I'm the fun part is getting people are wanting like to be involved. Like teammates are wanting to get involved. So like I'm thinking like long term, like hey, this is a whole new world where we fully control what we're putting out there.
Yeah,
which is a whole nother thing. We won't go that way, but that is a benefit. It's great.
That is freaking awesome. Yeah, those blogs have been vlogs have been killing it. KLC asks, what would be the hardest game to teach someone without getting frustrated? Tarkov. I'm just gonna go ahead and answer that one. Without getting frustrated, what would be the hardest game to teach someone without getting frustrated? That's an interesting way to phrase that.
Tarkov.
But yeah, I think it's Tarkov is unbelievably difficult. You have to remember the types, not only the types of bullets that go in each gun, but the tier or what you want to do with that round in each bullet. Is it flesh damage? Is it armor piercing? Like, does it fragment? Does it not fragment? Does it have a high pen? Does it have a low pen? Like that took a while. I'd have a cheat sheet up for a year to remember that stuff.
Yeah. And you forget all the stuff you learned, like that you just know now that you had to learn. And I think the most frustrating part about Tarkov, I agree. Tarkov is the most frustrating, is like you're teaching somebody, you're sharpening them, you get an engagement, and they're just terrified. Right? They're terrified. So you have like you're fighting two guys, you're just fighting them by yourself, you die, and you know they're not going to do anything. Like they're just hiding
gonna hide in the corner and wait. Yeah.
Because it's what I did. And I can imagine like for example, and I'll throw Lupo is a very chatty type player, and
for sure
he's got to be in a certain frame of mind to play three mans and four mans with us, because he knows that like if he gets an engagement being aggressive, like he's not going to get very much help if he's not playing with like Tim or Pool Shark. Like if he's playing with me, you and Callie, like none of us are going to push. Really? Yeah. Like maybe, but we'll push once he's dead. Like we're not going to push like in concert with him. He knows that. He's like,
oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's also like a difference in like play style as far as I'm not to defend myself, but I've always enjoyed the hang back and provide Overwatch / snipe. That's just I like that more, but you have to be willing to die and wait teaching Tarkov for sure.
Yeah.
You're just waiting.
Die and wait and try to walk them through it and be patient. Patience is huge. Yes. I don't have a lot of that. So that game is frustrating.
I don't have a lot of that. Yeah, without a doubt, Tarkov's definitely the hardest. I can't even think of another game that'd be more difficult than Tarkov. Yeah, maybe EVE Online. I don't know.
EVE Online.
I don't know. I hear that's pretty.
Star Citizen, I heard, is pretty. You're like, hey, bro, go check out that thing. Like, it doesn't work. You're like, okay. Go check out this story. He's like, yeah, there's nothing here. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Other than that, though, yeah, Tarkov. Gotta be.
Love that. Good job. Listener questions. Those were awesome. Very varied too. They weren't all just like gaming ones or baseball ones. That was great. That was very good. Thanks, guys. Thank you to Geeksay, Average Siege, Spartan Boomer, and KLC. Again, guys, we do AMAs like this fairly regularly. So if you would like to leave a question, you can. And we will tweet it out. So follow us on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, make one. Just Just freaking make one and
Make
follow
one.
us.
And follow us, please.
There you go.
Every follow counts. Team follow back, except we won't follow you back. All right.
Exactly. This week, we would like to give a quick shout out to one of our newest members of the MCA family. We are highlighting Motivational. Motivational is a podcast where former guest and content creator Ashleyna tackles real life issues with her guests and finds motivation wherever it may be. You can find episodes of Motivational on Spotify, Apple, Google, and wherever fine podcasts are peddled, shown,
Peddled.
marketed.
Wherever there's slang.
Whatever dark alley you might find them in, whatever trench coat.
And that is Motivational, Motivashonal. Also, I feel like we never spell it, and it's worth spelling. I think.
That's true. You're absolutely right, because she's 100%. Ashleyna, and it's Motivational.
Mm.
Do you get it?
Like motivational. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah, freaking nailed it. And you actually might find a little ActionJaxon episode on there too. Maybe you want to go listen to. Oh snap! Oh shit! That's what they do. I'm doing the thing where you put your finger on your elbow. And guys,
what even is that?
I don't know. You know I actually thought it was a drug reference when I first saw it. That's my old brain.
I feel
like
it's a heroin reference.
Yeah. It looks like these kids are doing drugs. I don't know.
Still think that to this day.
PM, what does it mean?
Okay, that's not.
No, basically, it's just, the boys recognizing greatness.
What?
So it's like, Paul, I've sent you the examples of like me as a dad growing up and all the boys come over and see my backyard. And I'm like, like the back patio is built perfectly. And it's like, it started as like a meme where, you get older and it's like, the boys coming over and I got the steaks in the grill and we're just having a good time with the beer. And it's like,
Still doesn't make any sense. All right, got it.
And then you put your finger on your elbow, and then you make that snapback face with like the bite lip and the kind of the lower the eyes a little bit, and you kind of make that little fake sexy time face. Yeah, it's just the whole thing.
That's what that is. Okay,
it reminds me of and I hate that I'm referencing a TikTok in order to show this, but it reminds me of it's like millennials and they're all doing like the pop lock, the TikTok videos, like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And then she's like, she's eye roll, and then it's like, crank that soldier boy, and she's like, you, and she's just going off, and then all the Gen Zs are like, what the hell are you doing? Like, everyone's got their weird stuff that's not cool later. That's
true. Yeah, if I had to explain like you to Gen Z, that would not understand. That's actually a good point. That's fair. Well, guys. That was an AMA podcast we did. We just freaking wrecked it.
Crushed it.
It was freaking amazing. I love doing AMAs. Don't get me wrong, I love our guests, but I really just do love shooting the shit and just talking. It's great. And also to our listeners, as always, and to our viewers, you have two ways to get onto the pod. We mentioned it earlier in the podcast, the very beginning. You can leave a message, that is a voicemail or text message, at 503-908-9526. You may have your question read, or we may play the recording. So if you want to get a little shish in there, that'd be the way to do it. I'm just trying to promote people to do it at this point. I don't care if they sheesh. They can sheesh if they want to. Again, that number is 503-908-9526. The other way to get on the pod is the review of the week. And this review comes via Apple Podcasts by Ethan Inman. Hope I'm saying that right. I probably
it actually comes from YouTube. That's a typo. My bad.
Okay, our script is falling apart. It comes from YouTube. My
fault.
Which you can. That's actually a good point. You can actually leave these reviews anywhere that you can leave a comment or review. We scour these things. We look for your guys' opinion. We want to know what you guys think of the pod. So this is actually super helpful. He says, I really enjoyed this podcast. I think so far, this is y'all's best work here. Thank you.
That was in reference to Tim Darkness.
Oh, that was to Tim. All right, perfect.
I love the Darkness one.
Dude,
there was a lot of words spoken in that one.
That was a meaty podcast.
That was meaty.
Yeah. That is not a fly-by-night podcast episode. That was like
that was 3 episodes in one.
That was freaking deep. If you're looking for a meaty, just sink your teeth into, you're going to be traveling for 4+ hours. You could listen to that one twice because you won't catch everything in the first listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Guarantee it. But thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that. That was a great review. I'm sure Darkness appreciates it as well. Friend of the pod, Darkness429. Guys, this has been the May Contain Action Podcast. You can listen anywhere podcasts are peddled. That includes Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or you can watch the VOD on YouTube. 5-star ratings. And again, leave us a comment, review, let us know how you think that we're doing. Go follow us at May Contain Pod everywhere. And we will see you on episode 70, because this was
next
episode
week,
69.
baby. Next week. We'll see you next week on episode 7.
Episode 70. This is episode 69. Nice.
I almost said mañana. That's tomorrow. Next week.